So I'm back after a little hiatus, and I'm here to talk to you about what diamonds, sapphires, emeralds, and rubies have in common. So stay tuned. As some of you who know me really well know that I've had a lifelong affair with Elizabeth Taylor. Um, and there are lots of stories. And in fact, I'll put a link down below to a story that will encapsulate my whole relationship with her over the years. It's been a very interesting relationship. But let's get into this fragrance review. And what I am going to be reviewing are three of her fragrances that were follow-ups to White Diamonds, which is her most popular and enduring fragrance. But we'll be exploring, in the meantime, all from 1993, flankers for White Diamonds. And the first one will be Diamonds and Emeralds by Elizabeth Taylor, then Diamonds and Sapphires by Elizabeth Taylor, and finally Diamonds and Rubies. So I'm going to open these up so we don't have to go through all of that rigmarole of opening and waiting for me to get it open, figuring it all out. I'll just have them open when I come back. And to get started with, we'll do the emeralds. And this is, of course, the box. And as I said, came out in 1993. Now, I know that Sophia Grossman did the Diamonds and Rubies, but the other two I couldn't find out, but I'm having a feeling that she probably worked on all three. And the bottle looks exactly like the diamonds, the White Diamonds bottle. Now, one of her most famous jewels, emerald jewels, is a suite, and it's a necklace and earrings. And the necklace actually has a brooch that she can take off and put back on, and also a bracelet. And it all began with the brooch, which was given to her by Richard Burton before they were married, after Cleopatra, the scandal of Cleopatra, and they were working on the VIPs. And she wears it in the film. So let's open this up and see what it smells like. It's an oriental floral. You can see it's gone through some changes. The original White Diamonds, which I have, has a metal sprayer, and this has a plastic one. So anyway, as I said, it's oriental floral. It has accords of white floral, fruity, animalic, tuberose, and sweet. I love tuberose, so let's see what I think. It has top notes of gardenia, apricot, peach, mandarin orange, hyacinth, white rose, lily of the valley, and water lily. The mid notes are magnolia, carnation, and lily, jasmine, lily of the valley again, and rose. And the base notes are tonka, amber, patchouli, musk, and vanilla. This is a beautiful tuberose. This is, and of course, it has listed as a note of gardenia, but gardenia is impossible to make from the real flower. So they all often make it up with tuberose and other other notes to come up with a kind of recreation of the gardenia. It's quite beautiful, and for a tuberose, it's very subtle. It's very soft, and not a baseball bat tuberose hitting you right between the eyes, but a really subtle kind of fresh garden in the spring. You know what it reminds me of? I grew up in Los Angeles, and we used to sometimes go for drives down Sunset Boulevard. And in the spring and in the early summer, you'd get this incredible white flower, uh, indolic, kind of mixed in with the smog, kind of, uh, and chlorine from swimming pools. It was quite a heady experience. And this is taking me back to my childhood and driving through Beverly Hills and Bel Air, going towards the beach. This is really beautiful. I'm really surprised. I thought that I would not like this at all. So this is definitely a winner. On to the next. One of the things that Elizabeth Taylor used to do before she began making perfume was she used to blend her own by taking a couple of different of her favorite fragrances and putting them together and wearing them. She'd layer. And actually was told a wonderful story by Vicky Teal. She told me this wonderful story about when she was very young and had just met Elizabeth Taylor and was in Paris, and Elizabeth knew that she was a fan of Coco Chanel. So Coco Chanel agreed with Elizabeth to have dinner with the three of them. And somewhere towards the end of the dinner, Coco Chanel grabbed both their hands. And so she said, you know, beauty fades and style changes, fashions go out of style, but perfume always stays in vogue. And that's where the money is. So she encouraged Vicky Teal and Elizabeth Taylor to both go into making perfume. Vicky started first and Elizabeth came in a little bit later. And sure enough, Elizabeth Taylor's perfumes are very, very popular and made millions for her. So anyway, this is Diamonds and Sapphires. So let's find out about this fragrance. Another gift from Richard Burton to Elizabeth Taylor was a beautiful Bulgari diamond and sapphire necklace with a huge cabochon in the center at the bottom. And years later, she found a ring to go with it, also from Bulgari. And I have a copy of it. Here it is. This incredible, beautiful, very dark sapphire. It's hard to see in this light, but it is a beautiful sapphire, and it has the diamonds around it. So this is a copy of that incredible ring with the beautiful cabochon on top. So let's get into the fruity floral sapphire and diamonds. And again, 1993. And its main accords are floral, green, fruity, woody, sweet, and ozonic. It definitely is fruity, but not a super sweet fruity. This is more mature, kind of a fruity fragrance. And definitely, I'm getting right off the top a beautiful cantaloupe. It is just really gorgeous. And there's also freesia, galbanum, peach, lily of the valley. It has tons of spices, and there's rhubarb, jasmine, ylang ylang, rose, and in the base it has amber, sandalwood, musk, and vetiver. Now that makes it very interesting, and this is a beautiful one too. I'm really pleased. I kind of shied away from these because I'd never smelled them when they came out, and I thought by now they were probably ruined. But this is really an exquisite fragrance too. It's definitely, it's got this beautiful rhubarb note that mixes in with the spices. The cantaloupe is gone. The cantaloupe is only in the opening. And the musk is coming up. And really, that vetiver just adds a kind of, this one is definitely unisex. This one, I think a man could wear too. It's also a spring fragrance. I would say spring and summer. It would really smell great after a shower. So let's move on to the last one. Now, Elizabeth Taylor was once married. It was her third husband, was Michael Todd, and he was a big film producer and a promoter and just a dynamo. A friend of mine likes to say that that Mike Todd once said to Elizabeth Taylor that audacity makes a star, and that's about the period around 1958 when she began to really explode and become a superstar. But he gave her a beautiful ruby and diamond suite, necklace and earrings and bracelet. And there's even, you can find on YouTube somewhere, I'll see if I can link it for you, home movies of her being presented to it by the swimming pool and just getting really excited. So that's lots of fun. You might want to check that out. But anyway, let's get on with the rubies and diamonds. Oh, and yeah, in the VIPs, Richard Burton's character gives Elizabeth a bracelet of sapphires and rubies, and he's so preoccupied being a tycoon that he doesn't even buy it himself, but has his major domo buy it for him and inscribe the interior of it, the inside of the bracelet, with some inscription, but he doesn't know what it is. And so he gives it to her, and she knows the skinny on what really was going on behind that he really has no idea what he's giving her. And so when he sees her off to her flight at Heathrow, he says,
I'm glad the rubies were a success.
Rubies?
Diamonds. Goodbye again.
Because, of course, it was a sapphire bracelet that she's actually wearing right in front of him. But anyway, on with this fragrance. Now, Diamonds and Rubies is an oriental floral. It's warm, spicy accords, powdery, woody, sweet, and rose. This is a rose fragrance. So here, of course, is the bottle. And we'll try this out and see what we think. I did smell this once a long time ago, and I didn't like it. But I think it was a bad batch. It smelled off to me in the opening, so I'm going to give it a fresh chance. I have to say it's my least favorite, but of course I have trouble with rose anyway. It has lily, rose, almonds, peach, hyacinth, spices. It's listed as having orchid, but orchids don't smell. I've heard people say there are a few orchids that do, but I'm not aware of them. I've never smelled an orchid, and I've tried. And it also has jasmine, ylang ylang, lily of the valley. The base notes are sandalwood, amber, benzoin, cedar, musk, and vanilla. To me, it smells kind of soapy, like an inexpensive, well, let's be honest, a cheap rose soap, a bathroom soap. This one is not a success for me. Rubies. So there we have my take on the three precious jewels, precious gems, and diamond fragrances by Elizabeth Taylor. So I hope you enjoyed that. And coming up soon are more first impressions of Memo, and then we're going to be exploring some wonderful fragrances that my friend Hillary sent me from Penhaligon's, who she now works for in San Francisco. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, this is Lanier Smith from Sense Memory saying, remember, wear what you love and not what they say you should like. Cheers.